Kaduna.
Afwan saboda
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Let me begin by apologizing for coming in late. It wasn't intentional. I have to organize people going to Kano to witness the wedding of the second wife of all my children. So they just left barely about 3 hours ago, so that's why I'm late. Like Haja was saying, she has 8 grandchildren. And I think I'm trying to celebrate about 14 grandchildren since the inception of Muslim Forum. Having said that, it is gratifying for Allah to have made us witness this particular day in our life. However, with mixed feeling, because we wouldn't have been here if not for the sacrifices of our pioneer trustees and patrons, among whom the only surviving one is our father, Alhaji Mahmoud Yaeli, represented by Mahmoud Sanusi. I can tell you that the seed of Muslim Forum was rightly planted in his house way back into 1991, when we just finished and barely got employed, and we have to be going to his house on a weekly basis for discussion. May Allah reward him. And may Allah also reward all of them that have passed away, starting from Justice Sambo, Justice Kusheki, our Imam, Abubakar Sadiq, Engineer Kure. I have to mention these names because these people, despite their position at that time, they had time and resources to commit to the cause of Islam in Abuja. And I said without them, we wouldn't have been celebrating what we are doing today about 3 decades ago. My concern is how many of us are ready to do the same they have done in the past. Because you see, like I think Malam will say, if you plant a good seed, it will germinate and bear fruits and shades for other people to shelter. We are sheltered today by their effort, by their sacrifices. And I think we should try to replicate same so that our great-grandchildren will still have this shelter to shelter themselves, to protect their faith, to protect their integrity, to protect their political and economic way of life. May Allah reward them abundantly. Secondly, I know we have always been saying that even the time that the name was coined as Abuja Muslim Forum, we realized we have given ourselves a task to meet up for that name, because the forum emanates after several discussions, whether Muslim community, whether society, but the forum indicates that regardless of your ethnicity, regardless of your ideology, regardless of where you come from, you have a forum, a platform to shelter you in Abuja. That was the aim. And indeed, that was how we carried on board virtually everybody, every district, every sect. We had branches across the local government. But this thing gradually withered away, unfortunately. And I believe, I hope, the new executive ESCO will revitalize those spirits. We have tried that time to tutor and train ourselves spiritually, economically, and even socially. Socially, at that time, I believe virtually all the pioneer members knew the name and every member of our family. I don't think that is possible today, because we rotate, visit to various houses, various villages, to the extent that one of us was crowned a title, something Jikoko, Damasan Jikoko. And I know what happened to that day. We had to go there, build a mosque, interact with the village, and they were overwhelmed, and eventually got a title till date. So what I'm trying to say, this social network that is still in us. We should try to revitalize it. Last week when I came here with one of my sons, Saifullah, he was challenging Malam Ibrahim Idris. He said, when are you people going to hand over to us? Because they have graduated, that time, I think Saifullah was not even giving birth to. But today he's a graduate. He said, when are you people going to hand over to us? And I think it's a question that should need to be answered today here. We had program that we had, despite our inefficiency, difficulty, we had program that we anchor our programs based on the thought and knowledge of Sheikh Usman bin Fodio. That was why we had to reside on monthly basis in the mosque to do training program to educate ourselves on the principle of dawah, principle of disseminating Islamic knowledge, and that really was able to synergize and strengthen us together. We were open to so many discussions of so many ideologies of Islam, but we decided to take the middle course. We're not going to extreme either side. And that was what was trying to bond us together. We also have interaction with our stakeholders. Like I said, our pioneer trustees. Virtually, we had representation in almost every ministry as stakeholders, to the extent that whatever happened to any Muslim in Abuja, we respond to. If there is any opening for our Muslim to be employed, we interact with them. This needs to be revived. Today, whatever happened to Muslims, we are quiet. I remember a very spectacular event when there was this Miss Nigeria or whatever beauty pageant to be held in Abuja during Ramadan. And I think the role Muslim Forum played that time to forestall and sustain that thing was significant, because we had to organize ourselves, invite people from across the country, and they came here and assembled and said they tried protest. We didn't challenge anybody, but we say it was not possible to do it, more so even to do it in Ramadan. I'm trying to recap some of these things that today, so many things are happening to Muslims. The only thing we do, we lament, we respond within our own cycles, in the ta'lim, in our private discussions. Who is there to speak for the Muslim Ummah? Muslim Forum had that cardinal objective. Whatever happened to Muslims, individually or collectively, we will stand up and speak for or against, as the case may be. I pray and plead with the incoming ESCO to look at this aspect. Today, we cannot allow other people to speak on our behalf. Non-Muslim, whatever happens, they come up public and speak. But we only speak with ourselves. It's not likely, and I said, it's not likely that most of us here will witness the next decade or second decade after today. So today is a milestone in our life. Most of us have witnessed it 3 decades. We should be grateful to God. We should thank Allah and appreciate the effort He has given to us. And may Allah reward all those who have been tirelessly expending their time and resources to sustain this spirit. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المؤمنين.